With me right now, Dave Wlodkowski. He is the founder of AmateurGolf.com. This is the authority website. This website is the authority on everything about amateur golf, and I get notifications all the time from AmateurGolf.com. Dave, welcome. Or Pete, welcome.
Pete, yeah,
Excuse me, Pete.
That's okay. I have a cousin, Dave. He's happy right now. So, we're out here at Pebble Beach. This is our heaven right here. 312 players are with us. They're unfortunately 200 and some odd of them are gone, as we're down to 32 here in match play. But this is the dream for them, and I think they'd all live out of their cars if they could get a shot at the PGA or a web card.
Well, it happened, Pete. I happened to watch some of the event on FS1 yesterday, and I think it was Paul Azinger that said, "Man, this is the most beautiful I've seen the greens in the fairways, and the weather is just perfect." Could you get an any better week to play the U.S. Amateur at Pebble Beach than this week?
No, it's gorgeous. I'm looking out my window right now, and we are just blessed. California's in a drought. It's sad, the fires, the things that you see happening. But there is one good thing about that for Pebble Beach is that it's easy to keep the course in that fast and firm condition they want, and the greens are outstanding. And they also qualified at Spyglass, which is a tremendous course that everybody loves, and I've never seen Spyglass better either. So they had two of the best courses that you could have on the planet play competitive golf at.
Well, Pete, what you got to do is on your mobile device, take some pictures and tweet them out there. Do you have or put them on your website, AmateurGolf.com.
Of course.
Put those, because we're going to compare them next year. They've got, what is it, next year, the U.S. Open is it at Pebble Beach next year?
It is, exactly. So they're gearing up, and they haven't had the U.S. Amateur at Pebble Beach since 1999 when David Gossett has it, whereas the U.S. Open has visited here a little more frequently. And of course, we had, I believe, in 2010 when Graham McDowell won here. So it's not that long ago that it's been here, but still, we're here in for 2019 U.S. Open. They've got a U.S. Open shop. You can buy the logo gear now. People are getting psyched for that too.
Okay, you're going to be our investigative reporter here because we're keeping the USGA. We're going to keep them honest here. You need to tweet out at Hank Haney. You need to tweet some pictures to Hank of just what the course looks like right now. We're going to compare them next year to what the course looks like during the U.S. Open. And it looks like there were quite a few guys shot under par. They didn't tear it up. Let's see, of the 312 players, 18 players are under par, 42 rounds under par on those two courses, -6 is leading after the qualifying. So, even though the conditions are pristine, they're not tearing those shorter courses up, are they?
No, and Pebble stroke average was 75.35, which is 4.35 over par because they play second hole as a par 4 this week. So it became the hardest hole, which is normally a par 5 when you come out and visit Pebble. Spyglass played at 76.29, which is actually a little easier because that's 4.29 over the par 72. But the two courses don't give up very easily. They're plenty long, but yet at the same time, what the golfers commented on the most was really when they play Pebble and they see it on TV, they think, I could play that course. It looks like there's plenty of room out there. But when they get to the greens in person, they realize how small they are, how much there's some nice thick held rough. And I saw in the qualifying 2 or 3 guys take their wedge and go all the way underneath and completely miss the ball. And these are the best golfers, amateurs in the world.
Yeah, the average age is 22 and a half years old, but there are some fringes. There's some extremes there, both in the older competitors and the younger competitors. I'm looking here at the list, Pete, and we're talking to Pete Wlodkowski. He's the founder of AmateurGolf.com. And if you want to know anything about amateur tournaments or who's doing well as an amateur, you got to log on to that because that is a great website. Now we've got some older competitors. Paul Simpson, he's 67. Dave Ryan, 64. And Sean Knapp, he's 56. Is that pretty unusual for the U.S. Amateur to have competitors that old?
Well, not really, because what they're doing, USGA is really good about this. They give exemptions to the top finishers in the last couple of years of senior amateur. So that's how those 3 gentlemen got in. Usually it's going to be somewhere around 50 years old or 55 for the top oldest player to get in by the old-fashioned way, by the 36-hole qualifying. But these guys don't embarrass themselves whatsoever. They go out. I watch Paul Simpson. He is determined and gritty player, just as upset to miss a 5-footer as anybody. And then on the other end of the spectrum, you've got a 14-year-old that was the third youngest to play in the tournament, Gavin Lane out of Texas. Age 14, playing in the tournament. Kind of reminds me of Cole Hammer, who at 15 was in the U.S. Open, and here he was a co-medalist in this tournament. I wouldn't want to face Cole Hammer in match play this week.
Right.
Also out of Texas.
But I'm seeing the other end of the spectrum, these youngest competitors. You talked about Gavin Lane being 14. There's another kid by the name of Jackson Van Paris. He's 14 years old. He qualified for the top 64. He was 3 over par, shot 72-74. He won his first round in the match of 64. He's playing this morning. In the play, I don't think the play has started yet. Matthew Griggs, he's 15 years old, and Alexander Yang, 15 years old. So you've got some young kids in there, too. It's
amazing. And they're out there. They've got they look like little tour players. They're not getting money to play golf, but they're getting gear, and they've got various logos on their bags from or their hats from the various stuff they're playing. But they approach this game just like the adults do, and I don't think any of them have any fear. That's the thing that I've seen the most. And distance isn't an issue for them. They all seem to get it out there pretty well. But when they face up against some of the college kids, as the matches get into these, smaller numbers, we get to the quarters and the sem, all of a sudden you have somebody who asked in an interview, so Will, you birdied 16 at Spyglass, that's 470 yards. He said, yeah, I hit a driver and a wedge, and I had to stop him. And he hit driver wedge into a hole that I hit driver and a hybrid into. Now, are they getting a lot of roll out there? The fairways look really lush. I mean, it doesn't look hard and fast, but are you getting some roll? No, it's actually very green, but it's plenty firm, and that's where you're getting the roll. You're getting plenty of distance. So when they play 9 at Pebble, they've got a new tee, and 9 after you play the famous 8th hole over the kind of the gully, if you will, and as you cross that gap and you go to the 9th tee, you set back to 521 yards, which is just very long, but it's downhill, and if you take the left side of the fairway with a draw, then it hits and it just bounds down a hill to where these guys are hitting a medium or short iron in. Nice. Last thing, Pete, we're talking with Pete Wlodkowski. He's from Amateur Golf. He's the founder of AmateurGolf.com. Everything you want to know about amateur golf. Hey, tell us, what is in their bags? What do you see? What are the popular clubs that these kids are using? Well, it's interesting because you'll always see a lot of the kids with Titleist and Nike hats, and because those brands tend to people are fans of them as young kids. They're aspirational brands, and yet Nike doesn't make golf equipment anymore. So it's just interesting to see that you'll see a lot of their golf shoes. But who's been the beneficiary of this has been companies that have kind of just continued to stride forward, like Callaway, which is one of our sponsors. But they have now clubs that really fit in the bag of these players. So I'm seeing the wedges, I'm seeing a lot of drivers, X-Forged, MB irons, and it's interesting. Callaway has the Rogue driver now, but you still see some Epics because that was such a good driver that some of the kids still play their Epic driver. But I've seen a lot of Rogue Callaway drivers as well. Hey, Pete, can you tell us, because the coverage is limited, although they do show some of the matches, some of the guys, of the 312 players, some of the guys have already gone home because they missed the top 64. Give us a little preview or a little list of some of the golf royalty that is there. I saw some names that were very familiar, and I saw Gary Nicklaus on there. I saw Matt Parziali, Thomas Lehman, Stuart Hegestad. Exactly. You'd have to start with Gary Nicklaus. I mean, with Jack's following you around with Barbara for 36 holes of qualifying, that's that attracts a lot of attention. And but yet the USGA loves to make these special groups, and they put 3 PGA Tour siblings or sons rather. Was Willie Wood's son, Hayden, Carter Toms, who's David Tom's son, and David was on the back for him, and then you had Thomas Lehman, all in the same threesome of qualifying. And Tom kind of lurked back. He was also there. You'd see Tom lurking back with that familiar look on his face like he was stalking a 3-footer, but he was stalking his son's game. It's kind of fun to watch. That's neat. Hey, Pete, thanks for taking the time, and enjoy your week out there. I know the tension is going to be rising as we get to the weekend. There's great coverage on television as well. Fox Sports 1 and Fox has it on Sunday for the finals. So we're looking forward to it. Thanks for coming on. No question. And if anybody wants to come down here, you're watching these players right up close just send us a tweet, send us a direct message on any of our social platforms or on our website, and we'll get you a ticket. We've got some. All right?
Oh, awesome. Thanks, Pete.
Thank you.
That was Pete Wlodkowski. He's the founder of AmateurGolf.com. Man, if you're in that Bay Area, you got to take him up on that. Tell him, hey, I need a ticket. They've got no fan ropes up there. You're just walking with them. And that's the greatest. Amateur Golf, they got the dream. But you know what? Don't tell them yet. But, you know, if they do qualify for the PGA Tour, it's going to cost them about $150,000 to go out and play.